Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash entitled parents. In today's episode, evil Mama Bear broke the RO to try and give me a piece of her mind. I told her she's not worth it. An agreement was made with evil Mama Bear. Entitled parents ruined my shift on Halloween. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Evil Mama Bear broke the RO to try and give me a piece of her mind. I told her she's not worth it. Now that my sister and FBIL have an active RO against evil Mama Bear, she's since deleted and shut down her FB and is barely leaving her house, or so her neighbors tell me. Rumor is that she's shutting down her Airbnb as well till she sells her house. On Tuesday evening I got a call from evil Mama Bear. And I made sure to record it this time. I had her original number blocked. So I guess she had it changed or called from a different phone. I figured at first the call was a spammer. But I wasn't surprised it was her. I had a gut feeling she was gonna try and have one last attempt to tell me off before she eventually moves away. Me answers the phone, hello? EMB hello. In the most icy way possible. Me hang on. Immediately turns on the call recorder app. Why are you calling me? You know that you're not supposed to have any contact with me unless through my lawyer. EMB I know. And I don't care anymore. You've destroyed me. I have nothing left. They all hate me. Me that's not my fault, and you know it. You blamed all your sh*t on me for years. Even sis is calling you out on it now, because she was there and witnessed so much of it. EMB I don't *king care anymore. I was supposed to be the matriarch of this family. Everyone was supposed to love me and follow me. And now I have no family thanks to you. I should have stuck you with a coat hanger while you were still inside of me. If you had never been born I'd still have a husband and a daughter. But no. I got you. Me I didn't ask to be born. And I certainly didn't ask for a mother who never showed me any kind of love. You're a monster. You always have been. And you know what? I'm glad karma finally bit you this hard. Because monsters like you don't deserve love. When I was a kid you beat me, tormented me, lied about me, let sis steal from me, blamed me for things that weren't my fault, and tried to break me. But you know what? It only made me stronger. I'm not afraid of you. And I never will be. EMB well then. *CKU too. I've got nothing left to lose here. Me accept your freedom. I'm recording this call. And if I notify the police that you broke the restraining order you'll be right back in a jail cell. And my lawyer is really itching get the book thrown at you. You tried to call yourself God that day months ago. And you tried to fake being religious just to try and get sis to take you back. But let me tell you something. God doesn't like competition. And God doesn't like liars. EMB this is why I hate you. You're exactly like your father. Too good at everything. I can't. Audibly crying. Me don't you dare bring dad into this. He tried to love you. He tried his utmost to stay married to you. But he just couldn't take the way you treated me, or that you cheated on him. You're the reason he divorced you. I didn't cause any of that. In the end you're just a money-grubbing control freak narcissist who loved to make others miserable and played favorites. And look where it's gotten you. That's not my fault. That's all you 100%. EMB more loud crying. Me enough with the crocodile tears. At this point mother, you're not worth it. I don't even know why you're bothering to call me other than to try and pin more blame on me for the things you did. I didn't make you a racist. I didn't make you attack sis. I didn't make you lose your job or cause your divorce. All those things were a direct result of your actions, not mine. You wanted me to be the bad guy so you wouldn't be. But guess what? I'm not the bad guy. I never was. You on the other hand are like a fart in an elevator. Nobody wants you around. Now if from this day on if you leave us alone, then I won't give this phone recording to police. Sis and I don't want anything from you. We don't want your money, your house, nothing. Just leave us alone, and we'll leave you alone. EMB sniffles, I may be a monster. But at least I'll see you in hell. Me somehow I doubt that. Now hang up before I change my mind and call the police on you. EMB fine. I always did hate you. Click. And that was it. I'm tempted to report her for breaching the RO. But that would mean she'd take longer to move away. We all want her out of town for good. The sooner the better. I also sent my sister a copy of the recording of the phone call, and she said she laughed when she heard it. And I mean nearly peed herself laughing. And if EMB makes one more attempt to breach the RO, then the recording is going straight to the police. An agreement was made with evil Mama Bear. Well, my sister and FBIL went to court and finally got the restraining order against evil Mama Bear. So all the details I have on this are from them. No surprise, EMB decided to try and fight the RO. So they had to go in for a hearing. I wasn't able to see it since if I was there, evil Mama Bear couldn't be because of the restraining order I have against her. My sister told me evil Mama Bear arrived a few minutes late to court, and then hobbled in like a depressed wreck. She tried looking like a sad and lonely little old lady to the judge for a while by claiming that my sister wasn't in her right state of mind, and she was only trying to protect her from people like me and FBIL. She actually said that I was evil and poisoning my sister's mind. And that FBIL was doing the same. And went on to say a mother knows best, and her daughter needed to come home so she could make her better because she needed guidance. The judge didn't buy her act for a moment because he'd seen the evidence they have against EMB. Not that her act would have even helped because she didn't even play the part of a sad old lady very well. The judge ended up admonishing her and saying that her daughter is a grown-as woman and she can make her own decisions. Meaning that EMB has no right to decide anything for her. EMB disagreed and the judge asked her how well she knew the law. She didn't have an answer for him. Then he said he knew the law because he'd been enforcing it for 30 years. And in no way does it grant EMB any sort of control over her daughter, because Sis is a grown and perfectly lucid woman with her own life. To further her case, my sister then brought up the recent letter evil Mama Bear sent. And remarked what they did to it. Sis said that EMB started crying the moment they said they burned it. EMB fully admitted to sending the letter, and cried that she was just trying to protect my sister. My sister told me she said something like from what? The only person who's tried to hurt me is you. You even demanded I abort my baby. You're the one I need protection from. I'm never gonna live with you again. I'm never even gonna visit you. Even if you lived right next door, I wouldn't bother to even look in your direction. Apparently that made EMB start crying and pound her fists on the table. The judge silenced her, and very surprisingly enough, once she was called out, there was no more real drama at all from evil Mama Bear. Sis said she didn't even bother to fight the judge on anything else, let alone speak much once the videos of her trying to take my house and attacking my sister were played. We expected her to keep up with her usual act. But with all of the evidence against her, she didn't bother to try and deny everything. She just stood there and quietly looked like her world had ended. But there's more to it. At this point it was assured my sister and FBIL would get the restraining order hands down. So before the verdict was rendered, the family lawyer actually made a deal with evil Mama Bear on my sister and Bill's behalf, stating that if EMB never tries to contact them again for the rest of her life or go after any sort of grandparents' rights, they'll drop any charges they have against her and won't go after her for a hate crime either. And as icing on the cake, this was all in a written contract that EMB bitterly signed with the judge presiding as witness. He actually found this quite amusing, I'm told. Sis said the angry look of defeat on EMB's face made it all worth it. And after signing the contract, evil Mama Bear openly took the moment to tell my sister how disappointed she was in her for taking my side and leaving her all alone just so sis could shack up with a man she didn't approve of and make a half-breed baby with him. Then she told FBIL exactly what she thought of him, in some very not-so-polite terms. But sis said she avoided using the racial slurs this time. Probably because she was in a courtroom. Then EMB loudly stated that she just doesn't care anymore because her life is ruined and she doesn't want to see any of us ever again. She then summoned to the restraining order and left the courtroom as soon as she could. So aside from now being officially denounced by most of the family and having multiple ROs against her, my mother just has to tie up what loose ends she has left with police and courts, then sell her house. And then she'll go back to Texas and hopefully never bother any of us again. P.S. My sister and Bill's RO is good for 3 years. Entitled parents ruined my shift on Halloween. Backstory: I, 22F, work as a server at a local brunch-type restaurant chain. Because we are a small chain, we can get away with more relaxed operating hours for the staff and stricter rules regulating what parties can get away with. One such restaurant policy of ours, important later, is that parties over 8 people cannot divide their check between patrons and will be billed an automatic 18% gratuity. This makes it easier on the servers to take care of huge parties and also forbids the possibility of getting stiffed on a major tip. And now for the story. This happened yesterday on Halloween, which was a Sunday. I was working a closing shift, and on Sundays we close our doors at 8 p.m. Given that it was Halloween, I was prepared for a dead-ish shift where I could close up early with my coworkers and head out of there by 8:10. Also worth mentioning is that I was throwing a party that evening that I knew I would be slightly late to, but nothing too terrible. Well, for a while, I was right. I had 3 tables over the course of a 4-hour shift, and by 7 p.m. both the servers and the kitchen had 99% of their sh*t wrapped up and ready to go. Then, they arrived. A family of 4, arriving at 7:34 p.m. My hostess informed me that she had let the parents know that we would be closing at 8, which the first entitled mother scoffed at and dismissed with *tchy and. Whatever, I thought, it's just a family of 4, I'll serve them as quick as I can and get them the hell out of here. Nope. Over the next 15 minutes, 3 more families arrived to join them, totaling their party at 14 guests by 7:50 p.m. There were 2 parents and at least 1 kid in each family, all clearly coming right from their rounds of trick-or-treating since they were all still in costume. Quick side note, this whole group of families was Middle Eastern and spoke Arabic, so I couldn't understand their side chatter. Once they had all settled, they tried to place their order quickly. I was all for it, except I had to remind them of our restaurant's parties over 8 billing policy. EM1, can't you just divide the bill by family? There's only 4 families. Me, I understand ma'am, unfortunately even though I could manage it, it is against our restaurant policy to divide checks for parties over 8 people, and there are 14 of you here. EM1, but that's ridiculous. We refuse to pay for it. Why can't you just divide the tables? Me, again ma'am, I don't really have a choice, I'm just relaying the company policy. Since you're all sitting together, I have to keep it all on one check. If you'd like I can go speak to my manager. The second entitled mother at the end of the table huffs. They were sitting at a group of tables pushed together, so she grabbed the table she was sitting at and moved it 2 inches away from the others. EM2, smugly look, see? We're not sitting together, so you have to charge us separately. This continued back and forth several times, and I held back many exasperated sighs. Eventually I ducked out to talk to my manager, who was in a bad mood from earlier in the day. She left it up to me to decide whether to give in or kick them out. I didn't want to ruin the kids' Halloween because of their *tty entitled parents, so I elected to let them divide by families because it wouldn't be hard to handle, but there was a catch. Because they were still a party of 14, I convinced my manager to let me charge an 18% auto gratuity for all 4 checks, so that was a tiny win. I take their order, no fuss. One of the dads, who we'll call Nice Dad, ND, tried to order a beer on tap at 7:55. I told him I'm sorry sir, our bartender has gone home for the night because we close at 8 o'clock this evening. Can I get you anything else? At the mention that we close at 8, his eyes widened. He was the only one that seemed to give a about the restaurant staff, so I wasn't mad at him. When I send the ticket with their massive order back to the kitchen, I hear the whole staff groan and curse. They would ultimately have to stay later than me to clean these whole S dishes after all. 20 minutes pass, it's now 8:15, and I'm on my phone, because I've finished all my other closing duties. I notice that June 8th of the parents are staring at me, so I walk over. Me, how's everything going guys? ED2, yeah, is everything alright? Me, absolutely, what do you mean? ED2, I mean, what on earth is taking so long with our order? Our kids are hungry. I was livid and floored by the sheer audacity of this nugget. In the calmest temperament I said plainly, well sir, our kitchen was in the process of closing down when you arrived, so they had to get a lot of things back out to complete your order. But no worries sir, it'll be out shortly. The worst part was that he was totally unfazed by the fact that we were closed. He just nodded along and let me leave. Their food finally comes out, and I made a mistake by putting in an order of chicken tenders instead of chicken nuggets for one of the kids. The difference between these entrees literally being the size of the chicken pieces. ED3 was not happy about this and actually asked for it to be sent back and remade. That wasn't happening, I refused to do that to my kitchen staff. Instead I said I'm sorry sir, our kitchen is closed so I can't have them remake any food. If you'd like I can cut up the tenders for you so they're smaller like the nuggets? It was dumb, but the only thing I could think of. This asshole said yes. He was so petty over the size of the chicken that his kid did not care about that he sent me away to cut up the tenders into bite-sized nuggets. I was fuming and my busser was cracking up at how angry I looked. Throughout all this, ND was shooting me apologetic looks and thanking me graciously on behalf of everyone else at the table. So they eat, pretty boring, but I was getting progressively more angry because I knew I was getting later and later for the party I had planned afterwards. Immediately after they finished their meals, I helped my busser clear their plates one by one. What I didn't know was that my busser spoke a tiny bit of Arabic, and he understood most of the family's side chatter. Apparently, all 4 entitled mothers were cussing me out, calling me a rude tch and complaining about how I was chasing them out of the restaurant. Of course I am, lady. We're closed. And it's Halloween. All the parents glare daggers at me as I lay down the checks, and scoff once they see the auto gratuity. ND thanks me again, and leaves an extra $20 on top of his autograph, so I was at least grateful for that. But they have now claimed the spot for the rudest table I've waited on in the industry, and I was so late to my party that it had already died by the time I showed up in full costume and makeup. A total bummer, and it was all because of these entitled parents who didn't feel like cooking on Halloween. Figures.